Beloved chosen one, tonight is not an ordinary night. Heaven itself has paused. The rhythm of eternity bends toward you because divine intention has placed your name in this very moment. You are not scrolling by coincidence. This is not a random encounter. Heaven has scheduled this meeting with your soul. God will do the greatest thing ever with you tonight. And everything that has tried to delay, deny, or distract you will bow before what is written over your life. You have felt it, haven't you? The quiet stirring in your spirit. The sense that something sacred hovers just beyond the visible. You have endured storms that should have destroyed you. Nights where tears spoke louder than prayers. But listen carefully. Heaven never wastes pain. Every ache, every unanswered question, every season of silence was preparation for this divine unveiling. You are being summoned into alignment with purpose. As the world slumbers, heaven awakens your destiny. The Spirit whispers, enough running, enough doubting. Step into what was always yours. God is not finished with you. In fact, He is only beginning. You were hidden not because you were forgotten, but because greatness grows best in secrecy. Tonight, the veil lifts. You are about to see why the waiting had to be so long and why the warfare had to be so fierce. There are moments in the divine timeline where the ordinary collapses and eternity breaks through. This is one of them. The light of heaven is scanning the earth for hearts willing to believe again. And it has found you. You are being marked right now. The same hand that wrote the stars has written your name in glory's ink. The same voice that commanded galaxies into order is calling you by name, saying, arise. You've been misunderstood, rejected, and overlooked. But these were not punishments, they were separations for your protection. You could not stay where comfort demanded compromise. You could not blend in when your soul was created to blaze. Every delay was divine training. Every silence was sacred molding. Now, heaven declares, the time has come. Listen, your angels have taken formation. The atmosphere around you shifts even as you read these words. You are standing on the threshold of manifestation. The weight of divine purpose presses upon your chest because God is about to do something unprecedented. This is not a motivational phrase, it is a spiritual announcement. Your life is about to turn into a testimony that will shake foundations. And so, chosen one, silence your fear. Lift your heart. God is not coming to negotiate with your past, He is coming to rewrite it. The things that once mocked you will soon testify of you. The people who doubted you will have no language for the magnitude of your transformation. You are stepping into a chapter heaven titled Glory Unveiled. You must be ready, for the Spirit moves where faith makes room. Tonight, make room. Lift your expectation higher. Do not limit what God can do by comparing it to what you've seen before. You have never seen this version of His power. You have never encountered this measure of His glory. This is the night of divine interruption, the night heaven reintroduces you to yourself. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 26, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. That means the dream you thought had died is still alive. The promise you buried under disappointment is being resurrected. The vision that seemed delayed is being delivered. Heaven specializes in impossibilities. When your strength fails, His power ignites. When doors close, His hand creates new ones. You are not at the end, you are at the edge of beginning. So, Take this moment and breathe in faith. Let the fear dissolve, for this is holy ground. God's presence is not coming, it is already here. Feel it in your spirit. That quiet stirring of hope you cannot explain. That is the sound of destiny awakening. That is heaven's announcement that you are next. Beloved, chosen one, if these words have found you, it is because heaven has chosen to trust you with a new chapter of glory. Don't run from it. Don't hide. Receive it with open hands and a ready heart. What you have prayed for, cried for, and waited for is meeting you tonight. Now pause and let this truth sink deep into your spirit. You are the miracle in motion. You are the evidence that God still moves mountains. You are the living proof that grace outruns guilt. This is your confirmation, your divine appointment. If you feel this stirring inside, if something in you knows that this word is yours, then do this prophetic act of faith, like, share, and comment the number 777 as a sign that you are ready for the divine fulfillment that begins tonight. And if you haven't already, subscribe to stay connected to these messages that carry the voice of heaven, because this is just the beginning tonight. Heaven writes your first page of glory. Chosen one, the weight you've been carrying has not gone unnoticed in heaven. For years, you've walked with an invisible heaviness pressed against your spirit, smiling on the outside while breaking in silence. You've wondered if anyone truly sees you, if God still remembers your name. But listen carefully, your tears have been counted, your sighs have been heard, and your pain has been recorded in eternity's archives. None of it has been wasted. There is something sacred about the battles you faced alone. When you cried out and no one came, heaven was watching. When you stayed faithful while everything fell apart, the angels took note. The very moments you thought you were forgotten were the moments God was preparing your crown. Every sleepless night has been seed, every loss a lesson, every heartbreak a refiner's fire. You didn't just survive, you were shaped. You may not realize it yet, but what you call weight was actually spiritual training. God allowed resistance so that your faith could develop muscle. The pressure that almost broke you was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to distinguish you. Like gold in fire, your spirit was purified. Like a warrior forged in battle, your endurance became divine armor. The same pain that once paralyzed you now carries power. Chosen one, do you remember those nights when you couldn't pray? When all you could do was whisper, "Help me," heaven heard. The silence was not rejection, it was the sound of heaven rearranging circumstances. You thought nothing was happening, but everything was shifting in the unseen. What you carried through the valley was heavy because it was holy. It was weight with purpose. You have carried the burden of empathy, feeling too deeply, loving too fiercely, caring too much. You have carried the burden of vision, seeing things others could not see, dreaming dreams others dismissed. You have carried the burden of calling, sensing there was more for you, yet feeling trapped in seasons of stillness. But tonight, God says, lay it down. Heaven is not asking you to carry what only grace can hold. You were never meant to bear the world on your shoulders. You were meant to rest it in His hands. The strength you need is not drawn from striving, but from surrender. Let the weight slip away, and you will find that wings were waiting underneath it all. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 55, verse 22, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. There is a divine exchange taking place in this very moment. The heaviness that sat on your chest begins to dissolve as you release it to him. The unseen chains that kept you bound to past guilt, regret, and disappointment begin to fall away. Where sorrow once lived, peace begins to settle. Where fear once whispered, faith begins to sing. You are being lightened for the journey ahead. For too long, you've tried to fix everything on your own, carrying people, outcomes, and expectations that were never yours to hold. You thought that if you just prayed harder, worked harder, or waited longer, things would change. But God is saying, it's not by your might, not by your power, but by my Spirit. You are stepping into a season where you will see what rest in God truly feels like. The same hands that formed galaxies are reaching to lift the weight from your shoulders. You don't have to explain your pain to him. He already knows every reason behind every tear. You don't have to defend why you're tired. He understands what it costs to keep believing when nothing makes sense. The Father is not disappointed in your weariness. He is proud that you're still here. Chosen one. Tonight marks the beginning of release. Every burden of shame, every guilt from the past, every fear of failing again, it ends here. The enemy has tried to convince you that heaviness is your portion. But heaven disagrees. You were not designed to live crushed beneath the weight of survival. You were created to live crowned in divine peace. So breathe. Breathe deeply. This is what freedom feels like. You are not being careless, you are being carried. You are not losing control, you are gaining divine alignment. What once weighed you down will now become your testimony of grace. Every time you thought you were sinking, you were actually being anchored to purpose. When morning comes, you will not rise as the same person who fell asleep burdened. The heaviness will not follow you into the dawn. You are entering a new rhythm, one of rest, renewal, and supernatural peace. The weight is gone, the lesson remains, and your heart will never beat the same again. Because heaven's promise still stands, the Lord will sustain you. Chosen one. The night has grown quiet. The world outside is still. Yet your spirit stirs like the sea before dawn. You sense something sacred in the silence, a whisper you can almost hear, a presence you can almost touch. Heaven is speaking softly, not in thunder or lightning, but in the gentle weight of divine awareness. Listen closely. What you feel right now is not imagination, it is invitation. When everything else goes quiet, God begins to speak the loudest. This is the whisper in the stillness, the voice that calls you by name when the noise fades, when the lights go out, and when you are left alone with your thoughts. You have tried to fill the silence with distraction, with work, with worry. But tonight heaven says, be still, and know. There is revelation waiting inside your stillness. You see, the whisper of God is not weak, it is weighty. It carries authority that can break chains and open destinies. The same voice that separated light from darkness is now speaking direction into your life. The whisper that hovers over your soul right now carries power to reorder everything that felt scattered. It is not a shout, because God doesn't compete with noise. He waits for the ones who lean in close enough to listen. This is why the silence felt so uncomfortable lately. It wasn't punishment, it was positioning. Heaven had to quiet the chaos so you could finally hear the truth. You are chosen, loved, and purposed beyond what your pain has ever told you. God is not far away. He has simply drawn near in a different form. You have been looking for answers in thunder, but heaven sent you a whisper. You've wanted clarity in a loud miracle, but the Spirit hides revelation in quiet moments. He doesn't need to prove himself through spectacle when he can change your world through a single word. Tonight, that word finds you. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay." Do you hear that? Chosen one, the vision you thought had died is still alive, waiting for its appointed time. God's silence was never his absence, it was his setup. Every delay was divine timing, every pause was preparation. The whisper is the signal that the waiting is over and the revealing is near. You must understand, God often lowers his voice when he draws closer. The whisper means he's near enough to breathe on your soul, near enough to awaken what has been dormant. What you feel pressing against your spirit right now is not anxiety, it's activation. The whisper is not uncertainty, it's heaven's confirmation that something has shifted in your favor. Heaven does not shout for attention, it calls for alignment. This is your moment to realign. Let go of what has been loud in your life, voices of fear, regret, and self-doubt. Turn your heart toward the voice that calms storms and restores souls. You will know it's him when the chaos within you begins to quiet. You will know it's him when peace becomes louder than pain. Chosen one, take a deep breath. Let the stillness speak. Every divine encounter begins with a whisper that tests your willingness to listen. You've been asking for confirmation, for a sign, for something visible. But what if this silence is the sign? What if God is proving that your spirit can hear him without lightning in the sky? There is a weight to this whisper. It carries prophecy. It carries healing. It carries the exact answer you didn't know how to phrase. You don't need to strive to hear him. You need to surrender to the quiet. That's where heaven hides its greatest treasures. The whisper is saying, do not give up now. You are closer than you think. What you've prayed for is already on its way. It is saying, stay still. The wind will blow again. The fire will fall again. The promise will speak again. It is saying, you were never forsaken, only being refined. So tonight, do something sacred. Stop trying to force the outcome. Stop chasing the noise of the world. Just sit in this stillness and say, speak, Lord, I am listening. Because when the whisper becomes your focus, the world's volume fades away. And now, chosen one, if this word finds a home in your spirit, if you sense that this whisper is for you, declare your agreement in the comments below. With these words, I hear you. Type it not as a reaction, but as an act of faith. When you write it, you are saying to heaven, I choose to listen. I choose to be still. I choose to trust the timing. That simple declaration breaks the power of distraction and opens the channel of revelation. Heaven reads what you write in faith. For those who respond, the whisper will grow clearer. You will begin to discern his leading in ways you've never known. You will sense direction in dreams, confirmations in conversations, and peace in unexpected places. The whisper will not just visit you, it will dwell with you. The silence is not empty. It's sacred. And in this sacred quiet, heaven speaks your name. Chosen one, there were seasons when the darkness tried to claim you. You remember them, the nights you cried until your chest ached, the days when you could barely lift your head because the weight of life pressed too heavily upon your soul. You walked through valleys so deep that even hope felt like a stranger. Yet here you are, breathing, standing, reading these words. You survived what was meant to bury you. The enemy thought that if he could cover you with despair, you would forget your identity. He thought that if he could silence your song, you would forget your strength. He thought that if he could fill your mind with fear, you would never reach for faith again. But the darkness underestimated the one who walks with you. Every shadow that rose against you met a greater light within you. The reason the attacks were so intense is because of the anointing you carry. The enemy saw your potential long before you did, and he sought to destroy it before it could awaken. Every battle you faced was not proof of your weakness, but confirmation of your power. Hell does not waste its energy on the insignificant. It wages war against the chosen. Chosen one. You have endured storms that others would not have survived. There were moments when you thought your faith was failing, yet that small ember of belief refused to die. Even in your lowest point, heaven was watching. When you couldn't fight for yourself, grace fought for you. When your prayers were too broken to form words, the Spirit interceded in groanings too deep for language. You were never alone. It may not have felt like it, but even in those dark nights, divine purpose was unfolding. The darkness you encountered was not a punishment, it was a classroom. God allowed you to face it so you could learn the sound of His voice in the silence, the warmth of His presence in the cold, the strength of His promises when nothing else made sense. The darkness tried to break you, but it only made you more aware of the light within. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, "The Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still." That verse is not a metaphor for comfort, it is a declaration of divine intervention. The battles that terrified you were never yours to fight alone. Every unseen moment, heaven's armies surrounded you. Every time fear tried to crush you, angels took their stand. You thought you were losing, but God was positioning you for victory unseen. Remember the nights when temptation whispered, when despair told you it was over. Those were the very nights heaven recorded as victories, because you did not quit, because you kept standing when everything in you wanted to fall. The mark of the chosen is not perfection, it is endurance. The darkness could not claim you because you were never its property. Even now, there are remnants of those seasons that still linger in your thoughts, old fears, echoes of pain, scars that still sting when you touch them. But understand this, scars are not signs of defeat. They are the marks of a warrior who lived through what was meant to kill them. They are proof that grace triumphed. Every scar tells a story of divine survival. You may not yet see the full reason for everything you endured, but heaven wastes nothing. Every night of weeping is connected to a future morning of joy. Every unanswered question is tied to a revelation that will soon make sense. The same God who allowed the valley is the same God who walks you out of it. You are not a victim of darkness. You are the vessel through which light conquers it. The time has come to stop fearing shadows. You are no longer in the place of defeat. You are in the place of dominion. The darkness tried to convince you that you were forgotten, but it only exposed that you were chosen. You are living proof that the light still wins. The same fire that guided Israel through the wilderness burns in your spirit tonight. Chosen one, hold this truth close. Darkness is loudest right before it loses. What you have felt recently, the pressure, the confusion. The weariness is not evidence that God has left you. It is the final trembling of the storm before the sun breaks through. You are moments away from peace that no shadow can steal. There is no curse that can stand against the one God has redeemed. No darkness can extinguish the flame heaven has placed inside you. The warfare you faced was not random, it was revelation. It showed you what you carry, who you are, and how unstoppable grace truly is. So, walk with your head high. Chosen one, the same darkness that once terrified you now flees from your light. The enemy no longer has authority to whisper defeat over your name. You are the evidence that God still fights for his own. The night may have tried to claim you, but morning always belonged to you. Chosen one. You thought you were forgotten. You thought heaven had moved on, that your prayers disappeared into silence, that your faith went unnoticed. But while you were waiting, something divine was being woven in secret. You couldn't see it because crowns are not crafted in public. They are formed in hidden rooms of destiny. What you mistook for abandonment was, in truth, preparation. When kings are crowned, it is not a sudden moment. It is a culmination of hidden work. Long before anyone sees the crown, heaven is measuring the heart, testing the character, and refining the soul. Every hardship, every heartbreak, every delay has been shaping you into someone who can carry what you asked for. The fire you went through wasn't to destroy you, it was to make sure you could hold the weight of glory. You were never overlooked. Chosen one, you were being protected. God hid you while he was forming something royal in your spirit. He placed you in obscurity to mature your authority. The world may have dismissed you, but heaven kept a file with your name written in gold. Every season that felt like hiding was actually an incubation of divine destiny. There were people who walked away when you needed them most. There were opportunities that seemed to slip through your hands. But understand, what left was not meant to stay because it couldn't survive the elevation that was coming. You can't carry the past into the throne room. The crown God is preparing for you requires both clean hands and a healed heart. The prophet reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, the first letter, chapter 2, verse 9, what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love him. Chosen one, that is your reality tonight. You cannot yet see what's being prepared, but heaven is busy in your absence. You are about to walk into rooms you didn't even know existed. Doors that were once locked will swing open, not because of your effort, but because of divine endorsement. You've been tested, trusted, and chosen, and now heaven is preparing to display what it has developed within you. But here's the sacred truth before the crown is placed. Humility must be proven. You've had to serve in silence, love without being appreciated, and give without recognition. All of it has been training for royalty. The kingdom you're called to influence isn't built on pride, it's built on purity. That's why God hid you until your heart could carry the weight of influence without craving validation. In the stillness of waiting, you've been learning what many never learn, that true greatness isn't in being seen. It's in being aligned. When your will bows to God's will, the unseen world takes notice. The moment your spirit yields, heaven begins to orchestrate. You may feel small right now, but you are standing at the edge of divine unveiling. The crown that has your name on it has been touched by angelic hands. Heaven has not forgotten your sacrifices, the nights you stayed kind when it was easier to be bitter, the moments you forgave when it hurt, the days you kept believing when everything told you to stop. Each of those decisions added a gem to your crown. Nothing was wasted. And now, chosen one, the King himself approaches. The same hands that molded mountains are the hands preparing to place that crown upon you. Not a crown of gold and jewels, but of authority, favor, and divine assignment. You were born for influence, not the kind the world gives, but the kind that shifts atmospheres and awakens souls. When the world sees what heaven has been building in secret, it will make sense why the warfare was so intense. The enemy fights hardest where glory is about to be revealed. You thought you were being buried, but you were being planted. The hidden season was not punishment, it was process. And soon, the same people who overlooked you will witness your transformation, not for revenge, but for revelation that God truly raises the humble and crowns the faithful. Chosen one. If this word touches something deep within you, pause for a moment. Let gratitude rise before God. Let the tears that form in your eyes become your silent worship. Heaven is close right now. The presence that has been shaping you in secret is near enough to feel. If your heart whispers, "This is for me," then let that be your act of worship. And if you feel led, express it in a small but sacred way, like share and subscribe to stay connected with these words that carry the breath of heaven. Not for numbers, not for fame, but because every time you share, you spread light to someone who is still in the darkness you've come through. Your obedience becomes their confirmation. Your faith becomes their awakening. The same God who crowns you tonight will use you to crown others tomorrow. You are not forgotten. Chosen one, you were being fitted for glory all along. And soon, you will step out of hiding, crowned not by the world's applause, but by heaven's approval. Chosen one. Something is shifting in the unseen. You can feel it, even if you cannot explain it. The atmosphere around you has grown charged, electric, alive with purpose. It feels as though heaven itself is rearranging things, realigning, repositioning, rewriting. You are not imagining it. You are standing in the middle of divine transition. The Spirit is moving pieces on the board of your destiny. And everything that once resisted you is now being compelled to serve you. This is the moment when unseen hands begin to work in your favor. What you couldn't fix, God is adjusting. What you couldn't open, heaven is unlocking. Angels are being dispatched with your name on their assignment scrolls. There is movement in the realm of glory. Movement that cannot be stopped or delayed. The same power that spoke creation into being is now rewriting the path before your feet. It may look chaotic right now, but this is what divine order feels like in motion. Before God builds, He shakes. Before He promotes, He prunes. Before He releases you into promise, He releases what cannot go with you. That's why some relationships faded, some doors closed, and some plans fell apart without warning. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Heaven is clearing the path for what's next. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 7. The Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. Chosen one. That verse is your banner tonight. The forces that stood against your progress are scattering. The resistance that once seemed unbeatable is dissolving in divine fire. You have stepped into a supernatural turnaround, the kind that only heaven can orchestrate. Every curse, every delay, every unseen opposition is now being overruled by divine authority. The spiritual shift you feel is not random. It is the sound of heaven enforcing your victory. The warfare was the final storm before the season of restoration. You are crossing out of survival and into sovereignty. The same ground that was once dry and barren is now fertile with promise. Where there was confusion, clarity will flow. Where there was fear, boldness will rise. The atmosphere around your life is being rewritten in favor and fire. Chosen one, don't resist the shaking. Embrace it. The shaking means something old is breaking so that something eternal can emerge. You asked God for new doors. But before He can open them, He must remove the walls built by fear, doubt, and disappointment. The Spirit is rearranging the architecture of your destiny. Everything that was once scattered is being brought into divine symmetry. What you thought was falling apart is actually falling into place. The shift may feel uncomfortable, but it is sacred. This is not the end, it is the divine recalibration of your journey. Heaven is not just changing your surroundings, it is changing you. The way you think, the way you see, the way you walk, all are being upgraded to match the new season that awaits you. You will notice signs of this shift everywhere. Unexpected peace in situations that used to trigger fear. Sudden clarity about decisions. New strength rising in areas where you once felt weak. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is realigning you to the rhythm of divine timing. This is why it's important to stay still in spirit, even when everything around you moves. God is orchestrating multiple things at once: connections, opportunities, divine meetings. You may not see the full symphony yet, but trust the conductor. The same Spirit that began this good work will finish it perfectly. Chosen one, this is your invitation to align fully. Let go of the distractions, silence the inner noise, and simply say, "Yes, Lord." Heaven is not waiting for your perfection, it's waiting for your permission. The moment you agree with what God is doing, the speed of your breakthrough multiplies. Right now, something powerful is happening inside you. You can feel the pull, the anticipation, the awareness that destiny is near. That is the vibration of heaven moving through your being, aligning your spirit to divine timing. This is not the moment to doubt, it is the moment to declare. And as a prophetic act of agreement, if this word resonates deep within your spirit, comment the number 1111 below. That number represents alignment and divine order, a sign that heaven's pattern is being established in your life. When you type it, do not do it casually. Do it as a spiritual declaration. I align with heaven's shift. I receive divine order. I accept the change. As you make that declaration, something moves. Heaven acknowledges your agreement. Angels record your response. And the winds of alignment grow stronger. Every time you speak faith, you draw the supernatural closer. Chosen one, the shift has begun. Stand still in peace. Watch the impossible become possible. The night is trembling because dawn is about to break. Chosen one, this is the hour when your true identity begins to unfold. For so long you have seen yourself through the cracked mirrors of other people's opinions, through the fog of your failures, through the distortion of fear. But heaven has never viewed you through those lenses. You were never who the world said you were. You were always who God declared you to be. Tonight, revelation comes not to inform you, but to remind you, from the very beginning, before your first breath, before the world even had a concept of you, you were already known. You were already written into the divine blueprint. The fingerprints of God are on your soul, and His signature rests upon your destiny. You were formed with precision, with purpose, with eternity in mind. There is nothing accidental about you. All your life, the enemy tried to distort this truth. He attacked your worth, your voice, your sense of belonging, because he feared what would happen if you ever discovered who you truly are. If you ever recognized that you carry heaven's DNA, you would become unstoppable. And tonight, that realization begins to awaken inside you. Chosen one. You are not ordinary clay. You are divine craftsmanship. The Spirit of the living God breathed into you not just life, but authority. You were designed to reign, to restore, to rebuild. You are a royal priesthood, a carrier of holy fire. Every step you take has impact beyond the natural, because light walks with you. You've sensed this calling in subtle ways, through moments of deep compassion, through burdens that others can't feel, through dreams that refuse to die. You've always known you were different, even if you couldn't explain why. That difference was never meant to isolate you. It was meant to mark you. Heaven distinguishes what it intends to use. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you before you were born. I set you apart and appointed you as a prophet to the nations. When heaven calls you a royal priesthood, it means your life is both altar and crown. You are called to intercede and to influence, to pray and to lead. The world needs your voice, your compassion, your wisdom, your courage. Every time you speak truth, you shift atmospheres. Every time you love when it would be easier to hate, you release heaven's fragrance into the earth. You may not wear visible robes of royalty, but the authority rests in your spirit. When you walk into a room, darkness takes notice, not because of who you are in the flesh, but because of who you are in the spirit. You carry a light that the enemy cannot extinguish. You carry the word of life in your breath. That is why you have faced such opposition, because darkness always fears exposure. Chosen one, this awakening will not come without stretching. When you realize who you are, the illusions you once tolerated begin to break. You can no longer stay in places that require you to shrink. You can no longer engage in conversations that dim your flame. You can no longer live beneath your calling. Heaven is calling you higher, not to boast, but to bear witness. The more you know your divine identity, the less the enemy can manipulate you. Fear loses power when you remember you are sealed by purpose. Shame dissolves when you understand that grace was your covering from the start. You stop performing for acceptance and begin walking in assurance. That is what divine identity does. It frees you from the hunger for validation. Chosen one, step into your awareness. Look at your reflection through heaven's eyes, and you will see a warrior clothed in mercy, a healer wrapped in humility, a leader crowned with compassion, You are heaven's answer to someone else's prayer. You are a living message of redemption. Every breath you take carries potential to heal, restore, and ignite. There is a quiet boldness rising within you. You will begin to speak words that carry weight. You will walk in rooms and shift the atmosphere without trying. You will discern what others cannot see. Because heaven is amplifying your sensitivity. Do not fear your power, fear the thought of hiding it. This is not pride, it is awareness. Awareness that you were made for impact, not invisibility. You were crafted to carry revelation into dark places, to bring comfort where despair lives, to be the bridge between heaven and earth. Every divine assignment requires a vessel, and God chose you. Chosen one. You are a royal messenger. Your life itself is a prophecy. The very existence of your hope is an act of defiance against the darkness. And as you rise into your calling, remember, identity is not found in striving, but in surrender. You do not earn this, you embrace it. The unveiling has begun. Heaven is not preparing to call you, heaven is waiting for you to answer. Chosen one. Do you remember the moments when the world seemed to collapse around you, when everything you built fell apart? When your strength ran dry? When your heart carried more pain than it thought it could bear, you looked at your reflection and wondered how someone so broken could still breathe, still hope, still pray. Yet even then, heaven was watching, not with judgment, but with tenderness. Every trial, every heartbreak, every loss you endured was not wasted. What the world saw as failure, heaven saw as formation. The tests you faced became proof of your endurance, evidence that your faith was not surface deep. The very pain that threatened to end you has now become your testimony. You carry on your skin the marks of someone who has walked through fire and emerged shining. Chosen one. There is something powerful about your scars. They tell the story of survival. But more than that, they tell the story of divine companionship. Every wound that healed carried the fingerprints of God. Every tear that fell watered the seeds of purpose. The pain you endured was not random, it was prophetic. It shaped your empathy, expanded your wisdom, and deepened your understanding of grace. There are people who look at you now and see strength. They don't know the nights you almost gave up. They don't know the prayers whispered through trembling lips. They don't know how many times you crawled through the dark and still found the courage to lift your head. But heaven knows. Heaven recorded every step, every ache, every quiet act of perseverance. You have become living proof that endurance births glory. According to what is revealed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Chosen one. Those words are not poetic comfort, they are divine truth. The suffering you've endured has been working glory within you, glory that cannot be replicated, glory that cannot be stolen. The greater the pain, the greater the power being prepared. Every wound you survived became a vessel for light. What once hurt you will soon heal others. It is not by chance that your story holds such weight. You are a living testimony to resilience, a demonstration of mercy in motion. God trusted you with pain because He knew you would not waste it. He knew that one day your scars would speak louder than your wounds ever did. There is a sacred paradox in your journey. What once broke you now builds you. The same situations that tried to crush you are now the foundation beneath your calling. You were pressed, but not destroyed. You were tested, but not abandoned. You were shaken, but only to awaken what was dormant. Chosen one, do not despise your scars. They are holy. They remind both heaven and hell that you endured. The enemy tried to silence you, but your survival is the loudest song of all. Your scars are your credentials in the kingdom. They testify that you know the taste of struggle and the sweetness of restoration. You were not chosen because you were flawless. You were chosen because you were faithful. Faithful enough to hold on when there was nothing left to hold. Faithful enough to trust when trust felt impossible. Faithful enough to keep believing that somehow God would bring beauty from ashes. And He has. Now the same God who allowed the test is turning it into testimony. You will begin to see doors open in the very areas where you once faced opposition. You will encounter divine favor where there was once rejection. Every no you heard will soon reveal the yes heaven was preparing behind the scenes. Chosen one, let gratitude rise. You have lived through what many never recover from. You have endured storms that could have stripped you of faith, but instead they purified it. You have walked through darkness, but the darkness could not claim you. And now, the light within you shines brighter because it has known the night. The test became your proof. The pain became your authority. You are not merely a survivor, you are a carrier of redemption. When others look at you, they will see what grace can do with a broken vessel willing to remain in God's hands. So walk with your head lifted high, not in pride, but in holy remembrance. You've come through the fire. And the fragrance that clings to you now is not of smoke, but of sanctity. You are refined gold, tested and proven. Heaven calls you faithful. And though the world may still see the scars, heaven sees the crown forming above them. Chosen one, tonight heaven stands ready for an exchange. You've been carrying burdens that were never meant to belong to you, fear that clings like shadow, sorrow that sits heavy in your chest, guilt that whispers lies when you try to rest. But this is the hour of release. Heaven is inviting you into a divine transaction, one that only grace can complete. For years, you've tried to hold everything together, to smile through pain, to be strong for others while feeling empty inside. You've prayed for peace but kept clinging to what hurt you. You've asked for joy while holding tight to memories that kept reopening your wounds. But the Spirit whispers tonight, you cannot receive with closed hands. There is a sacred exchange taking place. Chosen one, sorrow for strength, guilt for grace, despair for destiny. What you hand over will determine what heaven can place in return. The cross was not just an act of forgiveness, it was an open invitation to trade what is broken for what is blessed. We find in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. That is the promise over you tonight. The ashes you've been holding, the disappointments, the shame, the losses, they were never meant to define you. God is not asking you to forget them, He's asking you to offer them. When you release the ashes, He replaces them with beauty that does not fade. Chosen one, there is a divine principle at work here. Nothing surrendered to God ever stays empty. Every time you release pain, He fills the space with purpose. Every time you lay down fear, He plants faith in its place. This is how the exchange works. It's never loss. It's transformation. So, ask yourself, What are you still holding that heaven is asking for? The bitterness that keeps you anchored to your past, the self-blame that steals your peace, the silent anger that has become too familiar. These are not treasures. They are chains disguised as memories. Let them go. You have to trust that what God gives in return will always be greater. His peace will outweigh your anxiety. His joy will outweigh your sorrow. His love will outweigh every betrayal. The trade is always in your favor, but it requires courage to open your hands. This divine exchange is not just symbolic, it is supernatural. As you release what has drained you, the Spirit fills you with something holy: clarity, confidence, calmness. You'll begin to notice the change within. Thoughts that once triggered pain will begin to fade. Emotions that once consumed you will lose their grip. And the space once filled with chaos will feel still and light again. This is not denial, it's deliverance. You're not pretending the pain didn't happen. You're choosing to no longer let it rule you. Every memory surrendered becomes a message of redemption. Every tear released becomes a river of healing flowing through your spirit. Chosen one. You don't have to understand how it happens. You only need to believe that it does. The same God who exchanged death for life through his Son is exchanging your sorrow for joy right now. Heaven does not wait for morning. It moves in the midnight, transforming brokenness into beauty under the cover of grace. And perhaps you feel unworthy of such mercy. Perhaps your mistakes echo louder than your prayers. But listen closely. Heaven is not surprised by your weakness. Grace is not repelled by your mess. The exchange was written for the undeserving, so that none would boast. Let this sink deep into your spirit. You cannot disappoint a God who already knew every part of you and still chose to love you entirely. The exchange is not because you earned it. It's because you are loved beyond measure. So, as you read this, take a deep breath. Picture every worry, every regret, every heavy emotion leaving your hands. See them lifted into the light of heaven and fading away like mist at sunrise. Feel peace begin to settle where pain once lived. That is the exchange happening now. Chosen one. This is your moment of agreement. If these words stir something deep within you, if you feel the Spirit prompting you to lay it all down, then declare it openly as a prophetic act of release. Type in the comments, "I let go." Type it not as a phrase, but as a covenant. When you write those 3 words, you are declaring that you no longer partner with pain. You are stepping into divine peace, agreeing with heaven's exchange. Angels record declarations of faith. Your words become keys that unlock freedom. When you let go, your hands become available for what's next. New opportunities, deeper love, fresh revelation. They've been waiting for you to release what no longer serves your spirit. And when morning comes, you will wake lighter. The ache that has followed you for years will be gone, replaced by a calm too deep for words. That is the beauty of this exchange. What once defined you will now refine you. What once broke you will now bless you. So release it. Chosen one, let heaven complete the trade. You have carried the weight long enough. Tonight, peace takes its rightful place. Chosen one, there is a holy stirring deep within you tonight. You can feel it, an unexplainable warmth in your chest, a quiet trembling in your spirit. It is not anxiety, it is awakening. The Spirit of the living God is calling your heart back to its altar. For too long, the flame has flickered beneath the weight of exhaustion, disappointment, and distraction. But now, heaven bends low, and whispers, "Reignite." This is not about perfection, it's about presence. The altar is not a place built of stone and gold, it is the space within you where heaven meets earth, where your soul bows and your heart burns. That flame inside you was never meant to die, it only waited for your surrender. And tonight, God comes to breathe on your embers. You may have thought that you drifted too far, that you missed your moment, that your light grew too dim. But fire never truly dies, it only hides beneath the ashes. Every tear you've cried, every prayer you whispered in fatigue, every quiet act of faith has been fuel waiting for ignition. Heaven is ready to breathe life into what once felt lost. The ancient words recorded in Leviticus, chapter 6, verse 13, declare, "The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar, it shall never go out." Chosen one. That verse is not just instruction, it is identity. You are not a passerby in faith. You are the altar keeper of your destiny. The same spirit that ignited the prophets and sustained the apostles burns in you. You were never meant to walk in dullness or despair. You were born for flame. This fire on your altar is what gives power to your prayers, strength to your worship, and clarity to your calling. Without it, faith becomes routine. With it, faith becomes revelation. You can feel the rekindling already, your heart beating faster as you read, your mind quieting as peace fills the room. That's not coincidence. That's encounter. There are seasons when God allows the flame to dim, not because He's absent, but because He wants you to recognize that your fire is not sustained by emotion, but by devotion. Passion fades, discipline endures, and yet, even your smallest spark is enough for God to work with. He specializes in breathing on what seems insignificant and turning it into infernos of transformation. This is your call back to the altar, to the simplicity of presence, to the purity of love, to the strength found in stillness. The world tries to distract you with noise, with endless striving, but heaven calls you home. Your heart was built for this sacred flame. When the fire returns, everything changes. The fears that once controlled you lose their grip. The dreams you buried begin to rise again. The confusion that clouded your path clears. The altar fire refines, restores, and renews. It burns away what's shallow and reveals what's eternal. Chosen one. There are things within you that can only awaken in the flame gifts you haven't yet used. Visions you've been too afraid to pursue. Prayers you stopped believing could be answered. The fire will bring them back to life. The same spirit that hovered over the waters at creation is hovering over your soul now, waiting for your invitation to ignite everything again. When you allow the altar to burn, your life becomes a living sanctuary. Your words carry weight. Your actions radiate grace. People will sense something different when they're near you, a warmth that isn't of this world. That's the evidence of fire, the proof of presence. Chosen one. God doesn't need you to perform, He needs you to burn. The world has enough noise, it needs light. And you are that light. The flame you carry will guide others out of their darkness. That's why the enemy tried so hard to extinguish it. But he cannot snuff out what heaven kindles. So return to your altar tonight. Whisper His name. Let every breath become worship. Let every heartbeat say, "I am still yours." As you do, you'll feel the warmth rise again. The flame is responding. The altar is alive. And if this word touches something deep within you, If you can feel the fire beginning to awaken, then share this moment of revival. Like, share, and subscribe, not as a ritual, but as an act of gratitude. Each click becomes a spark passed forward, a digital ember that may reignite someone else's faith just when they're about to give up. You never know whose fire you'll rekindle by sharing your light. Someone out there is one message away from hope, one moment away from remembering who they are. Your simple act of faith could be the very breath heaven uses to awaken another soul. So let it burn again. Chosen one, the fire on your altar is not gone, it's growing. You are the living temple of glory. And tonight, heaven fills the room again. The flame will not go out. It never will. Chosen one, this is the night of visitation. You may not see angels with your natural eyes or hear thunder from heaven, but something sacred is happening around you. The very air feels alive, as though the atmosphere itself carries breath from another realm. When heaven visits, it does not always come with spectacle. It often arrives with stillness. The quiet becomes heavy, not with fear, but with presence. You can sense it even now, can't you? That subtle weight pressing on your spirit. That awareness that you are not alone. Heaven has entered your space not to frighten you, but to confirm what you already know. Deep down, God has been closer than you ever imagined. There are moments in life when the veil between seen and unseen thins, and tonight is one of them. You are standing in the space where eternity leans close to whisper secrets into time. The Holy Spirit is not far off, waiting for perfection. He is here, in your ordinary surroundings, transforming them into sacred ground. You might remember a time when you prayed and felt nothing, no sign, no sound, no comfort. You assumed heaven was silent. But even in that stillness, angels were moving, aligning people, preparing answers. Now, the fullness of that preparation arrives. This is not a new visitation, it is the unveiling of one that has been developing for years, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. The book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 16 declares, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." Jacob spoke those words when he woke from his dream of the ladder reaching to heaven. He thought he was in a lonely, desolate place, but it was there that heaven touched earth. The same truth echoes for you now. The space that once felt barren has become the very location of encounter. Chosen one, this visitation is not about visible wonders, it's about inward revelation. God is revealing himself not just to you, but through you. You are the meeting point between heaven and earth. His presence has come to awaken your senses, to recalibrate your heart, to remind you that divine companionship has never left your side. There is a holy hush surrounding you tonight. Even your breath seems to synchronize with something beyond your understanding. The worries that once screamed so loudly are beginning to fade into silence because they cannot coexist with divine presence. Fear loses its vocabulary when heaven enters the room. You might notice memories surfacing moments when you should have been lost. Yet somehow you were spared. Times when you were surrounded by chaos, but peace covered you like a shield. These were not coincidences, they were visitations. Every time mercy intervened, heaven was near. Every time grace redirected you, it was a whisper from the divine realm, reminding you that purpose still breathes inside you. Chosen one, understand this, visitations are never random. God visits to awaken, to affirm, to instruct. Some visitations come through dreams, others through sudden peace, others still through a word that pierces your spirit with clarity. Whichever form it takes tonight, recognize it. The Holy Spirit does not waste appearances. Your heart may begin to feel strangely full, your mind unusually calm. That is not emotional illusion, it is alignment. When heaven visits, the human soul finds its true rhythm again. The clutter clears, the confusion untangles, and suddenly you can see what was hidden. Answers arrive, not through striving, but through awareness. Perhaps God will show you a picture in your mind, a person you need to forgive, a door you need to close, or a dream you must resurrect. Do not dismiss these impressions. They are divine instructions wrapped in gentle whispers. The visitation is purposeful, designed to prepare you for what comes next. This is a sacred turning point. After tonight, things will not feel the same. You will find yourself more sensitive to His voice, more aware of His timing, more alert to the subtle movements of His Spirit. The distractions that used to capture your attention will lose their power. The noise of the world will no longer drown out the melody of grace. Chosen one. The greatest evidence of visitation is transformation. Not a glow on your skin, but a shift in your spirit. You will begin to think differently, speak differently, respond differently. The same situations that once overwhelmed you will no longer have authority over you, because divine presence leaves a residue that nothing can erase. Heaven is here not to entertain you, but to equip you. Every visitation carries assignment. The peace you feel tonight is not the end, it is the beginning of greater responsibility. God is entrusting you with awareness, with discernment, with power. You will soon be sent into places that need the same presence you now feel. So, remain still. Let the sacred silence wrap around you. Feel the pulse of eternity synchronizing with your heartbeat. You are not imagining this, heaven truly stands near. What began as a whisper of faith has now become a visitation of glory. And when morning comes, you will know that this was not a dream. You will sense traces of that peace still lingering, following you into your day. Because once heaven visits, it never truly leaves, it abides. Chosen one, the mantle of power descends upon you tonight. You have been walking through refinement, through fire, through seasons of hiddenness and testing, and now the time of empowerment has come. Heaven does not anoint lightly, it anoints intentionally. And God has waited until now because He knew you were finally ready to carry what once would have crushed you. You may not feel powerful, but that is because divine power rarely begins with sensation. It begins with surrender. The mantle is not something you wear for attention, it is something you carry for purpose. You do not need to perform to prove you have it. You simply need to move in obedience. And heaven will confirm it. Chosen one. This mantle is not merely symbolic, it carries authority. It is the invisible evidence of divine trust. It changes atmospheres when you walk into rooms. Even when you say nothing, it carries healing in your words, revelation in your silence, and peace in your presence. You have prayed for this, but you did not know how heavy glory can feel. The Word of God declares in the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 8, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, and in all Judea and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth." That same promise now unfolds within you. The Holy Spirit does not simply visit you, become his dwelling place. This is not borrowed power, it is imparted presence. When the Spirit rests upon a soul that has been purified through pain, the result is unstoppable grace. You are being clothed with something that cannot be explained, only demonstrated. Every battle you endured, every heartbreak you survived, every waiting season you thought would never end, all of it has forged a vessel strong enough to hold divine fire. You were being prepared, even when you felt forgotten. Now the mantle settles upon your shoulders, and heaven whispers, "Go, chosen one." Understand that this mantle will also bring weight. Glory has gravity. It pulls you closer to purpose. And purpose requires pruning. There will be days when you feel set apart in ways that ache. But do not mistake isolation for punishment. You are being separated for sacredness. When God chooses to rest his presence upon a life, he also protects that life from distraction. The mantle of power also comes with sensitivity. You will begin to sense shifts before they happen, to discern hearts without judgment, to see patterns heaven wants you to interrupt. This is why your spirit feels heavier lately. It's not exhaustion, it's awareness. You are carrying divine responsibility now. Heaven trusts you with its weight. And as this power increases, humility must anchor you. Do not forget who you were before the fire, because that remembrance will keep your feet grounded even as your spirit soars. The greater the anointing, the deeper the need for intimacy with the source. Stay near the one who sent it, or the power will become noise instead of nourishment. Chosen one, this is your moment of impartation. You have prayed for breakthrough. But heaven gives more than breakthrough, it gives becoming. You are not simply walking into a new season, you are walking into a new identity. The mantle does not visit the unprepared, it descends upon those refined by obedience. You will begin to notice it in subtle ways. Words will flow from your lips with divine precision. Peace will surround you even in chaos. Doors that once stayed closed will open without effort. People will come to you for wisdom, unaware that it is not you speaking, but the Spirit through you. This is how heaven works: quiet, powerful, undeniable, and chosen one. This mantle comes with a covenant. You are no longer representing just yourself. You are representing heaven on earth. Your responses, your compassion, your integrity, all of these become conduits through which the kingdom touches the world. The world will know who sent you, not because of your charisma, but because of your consistency. The same Spirit that empowered David, Esther, Elijah, and Mary now moves through you. You are part of that same divine lineage of fire bearers. Heaven never repeats anointings, it customizes them. This one fits you perfectly, molded by every moment of your story. You might not fully understand what is happening right now, but you can feel it. That trembling in your soul is confirmation the mantle has found its resting place. You will not need to chase opportunities, heaven will align them. You will not need to beg for favor, favor recognizes its reflection. And now, as a prophetic act of agreement with what heaven is placing upon you, comment the number 4,444 below. That number symbolizes divine stability, foundation, establishment, and the settling of heaven's authority on earth. When you type it, you are saying to heaven, "Let it be established in me." As you do, the covenant becomes active. Angels record your response. The Spirit seals your heart. and heaven rejoices. The mantle rests, the fire burns, and your journey as a vessel of power begins. Chosen one, this is not the end of your refining, it is the start of your reigning. Walk with reverence, speak with wisdom, and live with wonder. The mantle has fallen, and it bears your name. Chosen one, the season of separation is upon you. It is not a punishment, but a promotion in disguise. Heaven is pulling you from certain places, people, and patterns, not because you are too good for them, but because you are too called for them. There comes a moment in every divine journey when what once fit comfortably begins to feel too small. That discomfort is not rejection, it is revelation. It means you have outgrown what was meant to shape you. For a time, God allowed you to walk in certain circles, to share space with those who were never meant to stay forever. They served a purpose, perhaps to teach, to challenge, or to reveal, but they were never the destination. The very things that once brought you joy may now feel heavy, not because they are wrong, but because you are being elevated. What used to feed your spirit no longer satisfies it. The hunger in you is changing, and heaven is responding. Chosen one, you must understand that separation is one of the highest forms of sanctification. When God sets you apart, it is not to isolate you, it is to insulate what He is cultivating within you. Some cannot go with you into the next chapter because their frequency cannot match your new assignment. Love them, bless them, but release them. Not every companion can walk with a conqueror. You've been feeling the shift for a while, the subtle distance growing between you and familiar voices. The sudden silence in relationships that once felt vital. The sense that certain doors are closing even as new ones form in the unseen. Do not resist it. This is not loss, it is alignment. Heaven is making room for what's next by clearing what can't remain. As the prophet wrote in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 3, "Can two walk together, except they be agreed?" That question echoes like thunder in your soul. Agreement is not merely emotional connection, it is spiritual alignment. When heaven begins to shift you, those who do not share your frequency will naturally fall away. It's not betrayal, it's divine filtering. God is protecting your focus by pruning your circle. Chosen one. Holiness is not just moral purity, it is positional purity. To be holy is to be holy, is to stand where He places you, even when it feels lonely. There are seasons when the crowd disappears so that your ears can finally discern heaven's voice without interference. You are not being abandoned, you are being anointed. Solitude has always been the birthplace of strength. Look at the pattern written across Scripture. Moses met God alone in the wilderness. David received his calling in isolation among sheep. Elijah heard the still small voice in solitude. Even Jesus withdrew to pray on mountaintops while the world searched for Him below. Every elevation begins with separation. You have carried others long enough. Tried to explain your vision to ears not meant to hear it. Tried to justify your obedience to those not assigned to understand it. But now heaven whispers, let them go. It's time to travel light. Destiny requires clarity. And clarity comes when you release what no longer carries grace. This separation will test your heart. There will be moments when you long for the familiarity of old voices. When memories try to convince you that comfort is better than calling. But remember, comfort zones are often disguised cages. The safety you crave may be the very thing limiting your expansion. You cannot walk in new authority while clinging to expired alliances. Chosen one. This chapter is not about rejection, it's about refinement. Every divine warrior must learn the language of solitude. When the noise fades, revelation speaks. You will begin to see things differently, to hear heaven more clearly, to perceive timing more accurately. You will understand why certain people could not stay, not because they were evil, but because your missions diverged. You will notice that peace now feels more important than popularity. Depth feels better than attention. Obedience feels lighter than explanation. These are signs that your spirit is maturing. The separation is doing its work. It's cleansing your motives, sharpening your vision, and increasing your spiritual sensitivity. Soon, new connections will come, those aligned with your purpose, those who speak the same heavenly language, those who sharpen instead of drain. But for now, embrace the sacred in-between. Walk in quiet confidence, knowing that solitude is where God shapes his strongest warriors. Chosen one. This is not an ending, it is a divine rearrangement. The circle around you may grow smaller, but your reach will grow wider. Heaven is preparing to send you further than you imagined. But first, you must stand alone long enough to realize you were never alone. The separation season is not stripping you, it is sanctifying you. And when it is complete, you will look back and see that everything and everyone who left was never meant to carry the weight of your glory. Only you and God were strong enough to do that. Chosen one. The time has come for the breaking of limitations. Every invisible chain that has wrapped itself around your mind, your potential, and your purpose is snapping under the sound of heaven's decree. You were never meant to live confined by fear, guilt, or false identity. You were not created to survive, you were designed to reign. The boundaries that once defined you are being redrawn by divine hands, and the territory of your influence expands even now. For too long, the enemy whispered lies into your ear, convincing you that you were not enough, that you had gone too far, that your mistakes disqualified you. Those words became walls. Every "I can't," every "maybe later," every "what if" became bricks in a fortress of doubt built around your destiny. But tonight, God says, no more. Heaven is breaking down those strongholds. The Apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 4, "The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds." That is what is happening now. The strongholds are coming down. Every lie that once echoed in your thoughts is being exposed by truth. Every limitation born from fear is being replaced by faith. The walls that confined your potential are crumbling, not because of your effort, but because divine power has spoken. Chosen one. You were never meant to live small. God did not place eternity in your heart so you could settle for average. The dreams that keep resurfacing within you are not random. They are divine reminders of who you are. The enemy has tried to make you afraid of your own calling because he knows that once you believe again, the ripple of your obedience will shake realms. The breaking of limitation begins in the mind. Before you ever walk in new territory, you must think like someone who belongs there. The Spirit is renewing your thoughts, cleansing your imagination from the residue of old fears. You will begin to think in possibilities again, to dream without hesitation, to expect miracles as naturally as breathing. This is the restoration of childlike faith, the kind that believes God without conditions. Chosen one. You have spent too much time adjusting your light to make others comfortable. You've minimized your voice to avoid rejection, shrunk your dreams to fit spaces you were never meant to inhabit. But grace is calling you higher now. The days of apologizing for your anointing are over. You will not be small to make others feel safe. You will not silence yourself to avoid criticism. You are not called to blend in, you are called to break out. The breaking of limitation is also physical. The places that once felt closed off are opening. Doors that were locked for years are unlocking in this season, not through human favor, but through divine timing. You will see resources appear unexpectedly. Opportunities align perfectly, and help arrive from places you never imagined. When heaven declares expansion, the earth must comply. And with every barrier that breaks, your courage must rise to meet it. Do not fear the vastness of what's coming. Growth can feel uncomfortable because freedom requires responsibility. You have prayed for new levels, and now God hands you the keys but to enter. You must leave behind the mindset of captivity. The door is open, but you must walk through it. Chosen one, understand this: limitations were never your inheritance. You come from a lineage of overcomers, a kingdom of conquerors, the same spirit that parted seas, silenced storms, and raised the dead lives within you. There is no ceiling that heaven cannot shatter. You have been equipped with divine authority to speak to mountains, and they must move. You are stepping into a reality where your words carry weight. Your prayers shift atmospheres, and your obedience unlocks blessings not only for you, but for generations after you. The breaking of limitation is generational. Your freedom will become someone else's foundation. This is why the enemy fought so hard to make you doubt. He knew that once you recognized your authority, his hold would be broken. He has used fear like a leash to keep you tethered to past failures. But the leash is snapping, the lies are silenced, and the horizon of your destiny stretches wide before you. Chosen one, there will be moments when your new freedom feels overwhelming. Do not retreat into comfort. When you feel the stretching, it means expansion is happening. The unfamiliar is not dangerous, it is divine. God is enlarging your capacity, making space for the magnitude of what's ahead. And soon, you will look around and realize that the walls which once confined you no longer exist. The ceilings you thought were permanent have vanished. The only limit remaining will be your willingness to believe. So, rise, stretch your wings, and step forward without fear. The breaking of limitation is not coming, it has already begun. Chosen one, the time has come for your voice to rise. Heaven has anointed you not only to endure, but to speak, to declare, to awaken. You were never meant to stay silent in a world drowning in noise. Your voice was crafted to carry clarity. The breath within you is sacred. It is not ordinary air, but divine assignment. Every word you release carries the vibration of heaven's truth. You may have spent years feeling unheard, overlooked, or misunderstood, wondering why your presence seemed invisible in places where you gave your all. But what you thought was rejection was actually preservation. God was protecting your voice from premature exposure. He did not hide you because you were unworthy. He hid you because your voice was too powerful to be used before it was refined. Chosen one, now your season of silence ends. The same voice that prayed through tears, that whispered hope when no one was listening, that praised through pain, that voice is about to echo across realms. The authority resting upon you is not born of pride, but of purpose. You will speak, and hearts will awaken. You will declare truth, and darkness will retreat. The Apostle reminds us in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit." Those words have never been more real than they are right now. Heaven is handing your voice back to you, but this time with weight. When you speak encouragement, it will carry healing. When you speak warning, it will carry conviction. When you speak blessing, it will carry breakthrough. You are not just talking, you are prophesying. Your voice is your weapon and your witness. The enemy has tried to silence it for years because he knew the authority it carried. He used fear to make you doubt your worth, criticism to make you withdraw, and distraction to make you forget the sound of your own calling. But you cannot stay quiet any longer. Your silence has served its season. Now, your sound must serve generations. Chosen one. When you begin to speak with heaven's tone, something shifts. You will feel the words forming in your chest like fire. Words that don't come from intellect, but from inspiration. Don't hesitate when they come, release them. There are people who will find healing not in sermons, but in your simple sentences. There are hearts waiting for the sound of your courage. This isn't about being famous or loud, it's about being faithful. Every time you use your voice for truth, for light, for hope, you become a vessel of divine resonance. You are the echo of heaven on earth. That's why the Spirit has been awakening boldness in you lately. It's not arrogance, it's anointing. When you speak, speak with love. Let compassion be your accent. The world has enough noise and anger. It needs your warmth. Even your silence can carry peace when it's filled with presence. But when it's time to speak, do it fearlessly, knowing that heaven backs every word born from purity. Your voice will travel further than your feet ever could. It will reach places you'll never physically visit, homes, hearts, and nations through unseen waves of sound. That's why it's sacred, and as you release it, heaven will amplify it. Chosen one. If these words resonate in your spirit, if something within you whispers, "This is my confirmation," then take a moment right now. Let gratitude rise. Let it show not just in your heart, but in your action. Like, share, and subscribe, not out of routine, but as a declaration that you are joining a movement of voices awakened by heaven. Every time you do, you extend the reach of this message beyond yourself. And then, add your own echo in the comments below. Write from the heart what truth touched you most, what sentence felt like it was written for you. Your reflection may be the very confirmation someone else needs to keep believing. When you speak, even in the comments, heaven hears, and others heal. This moment isn't just about consuming words, it's about becoming the message. Let your digital footprint carry faith. Let your engagement be ministry. Every click, every comment, every share is an act of obedience that allows light to travel further. Chosen one. Heaven's microphone has been handed to you. The world needs your story, your sound, your truth. Do not underestimate the power of one sincere word spoken in faith. It can shift destinies. Lift your voice, not to argue, but to awaken. The kingdom moves through sound, and your sound has been chosen. Now, let the world hear what heaven has placed within you. Chosen one. Can you sense it? The atmosphere around you is no longer the same. There is celebration in the unseen, a symphony of light swirling in the heavens, and at its center, your name. Heaven is rejoicing because your heart has stayed faithful, your spirit has endured, and your obedience has echoed through eternity. The battles that once made you weep are now songs in the mouths of angels. You may not hear them, but they sing over you even now. You are not the same person who began this journey. You have walked through the valleys of breaking, through deserts of silence, through nights of wrestling. Each step refined you, stripped away what was temporary, and revealed what was eternal. The tests that once confused you now make sense. You see how they shaped your strength, purified your motives, and anchored your soul. Heaven saw your every yes, even the quiet ones no one noticed. And heaven responds to obedience with celebration. The writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 30, verse 11 declare, "You turned my mourning into dancing, you removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy." That is the anthem resounding in heaven tonight. What once felt like endless mourning is now being transformed into divine celebration. The garments of sorrow that clung to your soul are being exchanged for robes of joy and light. Heaven's laughter rings like music across eternity, not because you were perfect, but because you persevered. Chosen one. When heaven celebrates, it is not a quiet affair. Angels rejoice at the turning of a heart toward obedience. The Father himself delights when one of his chosen rises from the ashes of defeat to walk again in faith. Right now, the very throne room vibrates with joy because you have said yes, again and again, even when it cost you everything. This celebration is not a reward, it is recognition. God is acknowledging the weight of your endurance. Every time you chose faith over fear, heaven took note. Every time you refused to surrender to bitterness, angels applauded. Every tear shed in secret became a note in heaven's melody. The unseen witnesses of your journey now dance in the glory of your restoration. You might not see it yet, but even the world around you is beginning to shift in reflection of heaven's joy. Opportunities will align effortlessly. Peace will settle in your home. The weariness that clung to your shoulders will begin to lift because heaven's joy is contagious. It spills into every part of your life. The celebration above becomes manifestation below. Chosen one. There was a time when you doubted if your prayers made any difference. You thought heaven was silent, that perhaps your voice was too small to reach God's ears. But now you see every whispered plea was caught, every quiet hope stored in the heart of your Father. And now, the answers begin to unfold, not all at once, but beautifully, in perfect timing. The rejoicing of heaven is also the signal of new commissioning. Celebration in the kingdom is never without purpose. When heaven rejoices, it also releases. The joy that surrounds your name tonight is not merely about what you have overcome, it's about what you are now ready to carry. You are being entrusted with greater authority, deeper wisdom, and wider reach. This joy is your confirmation that the testing season has accomplished its work. The waiting was not wasted. You are entering a phase where peace becomes your platform. The same grace that sustained you in struggle will now sustain you in influence. You no longer move from desperation, but from delight. Chosen one. Remember this, heaven's celebration over you is also heaven's endorsement. The applause of angels is heaven's way of saying, we trust you with what comes next. Every divine promotion begins with joy in heaven. Every shift on earth is birthed from celebration above. You are stepping into your after pain, after doubt, after breaking comes glory. Let that truth sink deep into your soul. You are not forgotten, not overlooked, not insignificant. You are heaven's headline, the miracle that others will one day point to and say, God still moves. The angels rejoice because your story testifies that grace still wins. So, breathe in this peace. Feel the celebration that hums through the air like invisible music. You are surrounded by the rejoicing of heaven, enveloped in divine delight. You've endured, you've obeyed, and now you are crowned with joy. Heaven's celebration is not the end of your story, it is the prelude to your glory. Chosen one, dawn is breaking. The long night of testing, silence, and transformation has finally given way to the first light of glory. The horizon glows with promise. The shadows that once haunted your steps are retreating behind you. Heaven's assignment over your life is no longer in waiting, it is in motion. You stand at the threshold of fulfillment, and the world will soon see the evidence of what heaven has always known about you. This is the dawn of glory. The shift that began in whispers now resounds like a holy trumpet. You feel it, the air around you lighter, your spirit stronger, your heart steadier. You are not merely entering a new day, you are becoming it. You are the sunrise heaven prepared in human form. A living declaration that light always wins. Chosen one, before you close this final page, let one more truth settle deep within you. This is not the end, it is your awakening. The same light that rose within you tonight will keep shining through every step you take. When doubt comes, remember this moment. When fear whispers, answer with faith. You carry heaven's flame, now tend it, protect it, and let it illuminate everything you touch. The dawn lives in you forever. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 12, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Chosen one, that light now burns within you. You have followed faithfully through confusion and wilderness, and now his light becomes your identity. You no longer chase illumination, you carry it. The dawn does not ask permission to rise, it simply appears, and darkness cannot resist it. That is who you have become, inevitable light. This glory does not shine for vanity but for victory. It is the radiance of redemption, the glow of one who has walked through fire and come out refined. Every scar reflects his mercy. Every breath is proof of his goodness. Glory is not about recognition, it is about reflection. You now mirror the grace that sustained you, the love that remade you, the power that preserved you. The dawn of glory carries silence too, a holy quietness that follows storms. It's the stillness after tears. When peace finally feels natural, when gratitude replaces grief, you find yourself breathing deeper, not because the struggle is forgotten, but because the weight has lifted. Every prayer, every battle, every why has found its answer in this stillness. Chosen one, you are walking in a season of manifestation. What was spoken in secret will now be seen in public. The same God who whispered promises in your solitude will now display them before the world, not to glorify you, but to glorify himself through you. People will look at your peace and know you met the Prince of Peace. They will see your strength and recognize the hand that held you. You will become a living sermon, a walking sanctuary. There is a quiet majesty that follows those who have wrestled with God and prevailed. You carry it now, not arrogance, but awareness. You know what it costs to stand. You understand the value of grace. You have tasted darkness deeply enough to never take light for granted again. That is what gives your glory depth. It is rooted in gratitude. Chosen one. The dawn of glory is also a call to stewardship. With light comes responsibility. You cannot return to the smallness that once contained you. You cannot speak as though you are still uncertain. You must walk with authority, not loud, but sure. Every step you take now establishes territory. Every word you release carries creative power. You are no longer waiting for permission to shine. Heaven has already commanded it. This dawn will bring divine opportunities, doors that open without striving. Connections born of grace. Favor that feels effortless. But remember, glory is safest in humble hands. Keep your heart bowed even as you rise. The same humility that carried you through the night will preserve you in the light. There will still be challenges. Of course, glory does not remove opposition, it redefines it. The battles ahead will not break you, they will confirm you. You will stand unshaken because your foundation is no longer sand, it is fire-tested faith. You will speak with the calm of someone who has already seen the end and knows victory is certain. Chosen one. Look around you now. Everything feels different because you are different. The sun has risen inside you, and the world must adjust to your radiance. Do not dim yourself for comfort. You are not the same flame you were before. You are a torch meant to guide others out of their night. This is your dawn. Walk in it boldly. The crown heaven promised rests not just on your head, but within your heart. You are crowned with endurance, anointed with peace, and wrapped in light. The story that once hurt to tell will soon heal others. What was once your breaking point has become your birthplace of brilliance. Chosen one. Step forward now. The world awaits the light you carry. And as morning stretches across the heavens, remember this truth. Glory does not visit, it abides. You are its dwelling place. Chosen one. If these words have reached you, if they have pierced your heart, calmed your storms, or reminded you of who you are, then pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel this truth. You were not here by accident. You were divinely guided to this message because heaven wanted to speak to you. One more time. Before you step into what's next, you've walked through revelation after revelation. From the first whisper of calling to this final dawn of glory, you felt the Spirit stir, the fire reignite, the chains fall, and the light expand. You are not who you were when this began. You have shifted. Heaven sees it, and even the earth feels it. The transformation inside you is real, and it will ripple outward long after this message ends. Now, as this journey closes, I want to speak directly to your heart. Don't keep this light to yourself. The message that healed you could heal someone else. The words that lifted your soul could be the very lifeline another weary heart is praying for tonight. There is someone scrolling in silence, someone crying in the dark, someone questioning if God still sees them, and your small act of sharing could become their divine interruption. So, if this message has spoken to your spirit, like it not as routine, but as a declaration that you received it, share it. not for numbers or attention, but as an act of compassion, a way to spread light into places you may never reach physically. When you share, you participate in heaven's work. You become the messenger now. And if you haven't yet, subscribe not for content, but for connection. Stay where the flow of faith continues, where words from heaven can keep strengthening your journey. Sometimes, all it takes is one reminder at the right time to keep the flame alive. Stay close to that flow. Let it nourish you when life gets heavy again. Then, after you've read and reflected, come back and comment. Write from your heart. What moment in this journey touched you most? What truth set you free? What phrase still echoes in your spirit? Your reflection might be the confirmation someone else needs. Your words matter more than you think. They carry the same divine resonance that awakened you. Chosen one. This is not a farewell, it's a continuation. Heaven has more to reveal. And your story isn't finished, it's unfolding. You are now part of something bigger than a message. You are part of a movement of light bearers, voices chosen to ignite hope across the earth. Go forth with that awareness. Keep the fire burning. Keep shining. Keep believing. And keep sharing. Your light matters. Your voice carries heaven's tone, and the world still needs to hear it.